Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Kindness Advantage. I'm your host, Cindy Rowe, and in 10 minutes or less, we explore how to bring kindness into every corner of your life. And today, we are talking about something that doesn't get discussed enough: kindness in uncomfortable moments. Not kindness when it's easy, not kindness when everyone agrees, but kindness when things feel tense, awkward, even emotional, triggering, and uncertain. Because honestly, that's where kindness matters most. So let's start with the truth. Most of us are kind when we feel safe. We're kind when we're rested, when we feel respected, when we agree, and when we're comfortable. But what happens when we're uncomfortable? Our nervous system shifts. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that when we perceive a threat, even a social threat like criticism or disagreement, our brain activates the same fight or flight response as physical danger. This means in uncomfortable moments, we get defensive, we shut down, we attack, or we withdraw. Kindness is not our default in those moments, and self protection is. And that's human. Because let's face it, it is our natural human instinct to respond to what is given. Here's a quick story I want to share with you. I was in a meeting, and this was a little while ago, right? When someone challenged something I had worked really hard on, I could feel it immediately. My heart started pounding, my face got warm, and I was mentally preparing a rebuttal before they even finished speaking. Have you been there? Come on. We all have, right? But in that moment, I had two choices. I could defend or breathe. That pause, that tiny breath changed everything. Instead of reacting, I asked, "Can you tell me more about what you're seeing?" That didn't mean I agreed. It meant I chose curiosity over combat. And that is kindness in uncomfortable moments. Why does kindness feel so hard when it matters most, right? Here's the science. When we feel socially threatened, the amygdala activates. When the amygdala activates, empathy decreases, which means discomfort biologically reduces our ability to be kind. And that's really important to understand. Kindness is in uncomfortable situations isn't natural. It has to be intentional. And it's a skill. And this is what I teach in all my presentations, in my workshops, in my trainings, right? When you practice intentional kindness, it becomes easier in these most challenging situations. And the research that makes this clear, I found some, right? A study published in Emotion found that people who practiced emotion regulation techniques like pausing, reframing, or deep breathing were significantly more likely to respond with empathy during conflict. And another study from Stanford showed that when individuals approach disagreement with curiosity instead of certainty, conversations become less polarized and more constructive. What does all this mean? Kindness intention actually changes outcome. It improves relationships, it improves collaboration, and it improves trust. So, what does kindness look like in these uncomfortable moments? It does not mean being passive. It does not mean tolerating bad behavior. It doesn't mean avoiding the truth either. But it does mean lowering your voice instead of raising it, asking a question instead of making an accusation, saying, help me understand, instead of you're wrong, staying present when you want to escape. Come on now, we've all been there. Not humiliating someone publicly, and not escalating emotionally. Kindness in discomfort is about emotional steadiness. So here is the reframe I want you to consider. Instead of asking, how do I win this moment? It's not about winning. Ask, how do I lead this moment? Because leadership at work, at home, or in your community shows up most clearly in uncomfortable spaces. Anyone can be kind when things are easy. It takes strength to be kind when it's tense. And that is really the climate of our world today. We're stressed. Things are so tense. I found this powerful quote. Viktor Frankl once wrote, between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That space, that's where kindness lives. Not in the stimulus, not in the reaction, but in the pause. So I have 3 practical strategies for you, and I want to make it tangible. Number 1, name what's happening internally. Instead of pretending you're calm, acknowledge it silently. I feel defensive. I feel embarrassed. I feel misunderstood. Naming emotion reduces the intensity. That's neuroscience. Number 2, slow it down. Take one breath. Relax your jaw. Unclench your hands. When the body softens, the tone follows. Number 3, choose one kind sentence. You don't need a speech, just one grounded sentence. You could say, let's slow this down. I want to understand your perspective. This matters, so let's talk through it carefully. That one sentence can reset an entire room and the entire conversation. So why does this matter right now? We are living in challenging times. High stress, high sensitivity. Kindness in comfortable moments won't shift the culture. Kindness in uncomfortable ones might. And here's why I believe this so strongly. Kindness isn't a weakness. It's an emotional discipline. It's strength under pressure. And it's self-regulation in action. The next time you feel tension rising, I want you to think of this. Instead of asking, how do I protect myself? Ask, how do I protect the humanity in this moment? Discomfort is inevitable. Division, that is optional. And kindness, especially in uncomfortable spaces, is how we build trust instead of tearing it down. So this week, I challenge you to notice one uncomfortable moment, just one, and instead of reacting, automatically pause. Breathe. Choose one kind response. And here's the thing. I'm going to close it up. But if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who navigates tough conversations, a leader, a parent, a coworker, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if it's YouTube or to the podcast at the app that you're watching it on. We need to keep building emotional strength together. I'm here to remind you that kindness is most powerful when it's hardest to practice. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, together, we create waves of change through kindness.